So what do you think about the tenor of tonight's debate?
So, obviously there was a target on my back. The polls have me ahead. I actually won on primary day. And he was very aggressive. But the reality is he needs to own up to who he really is. Mayor Bloomberg endorsed him in 2009. He carried the mayor's water in Albany on charter schools and lifting the charter cap. He's accepted $175,000 from individuals who supported the Brooklyn Bridge Park. He admitted, in fact, that there's only luxury housing. He said he negotiated. He did not negotiate affordable housing. $100,000 from charter school operators. This is more of the same, more of the Bloomberg era, and we need to get past that. There's growing income inequality in the city of New York. Wage stagnation. There's a significant number of voices of parents who have been shut out of the process. And what we need is a champion and someone who's going to stand up against powerful interests on behalf of everyday New Yorkers. And my record is replete with examples of where I have challenged Mayor Bloomberg and stood up on behalf of everyday New Yorkers. And we'll do that as the next public advocate of the city of New York, giving a voice to the voiceless in the city of New York. And that's why I'm hoping that everyone come out and vote on October 1st and vote for a champion of the people, Letitia James.
So is the charge that you've voted with in accordance with Mr. Bloomberg 98% of the time?
That's like saying that it's just ridiculous. It's just really ridiculous. I mean, here I am, someone of humble means, whose mother once scrubbed floors and whose father was a janitor. I just can't relate to Mayor. I can't relate to some of his comments that have been totally insensitive and out of touch with everyday New Yorkers in the city of New York, which is why New Yorkers came out and vote and put me out on top on primary day, and we're going to do that again on October 1st. Dan Squadron knows that he is an ally of Mayor Bloomberg. That's why he did not endorse the Democratic nominee in 2009, which is why he was nowhere to be found on the extension of term limits, where I fought tooth and nail with Bill de Blasio side by side all the way to court. We could not find Dan, which is why I stood up against a powerful developer in Brooklyn. Dan was in the state Senate. We're still having a challenge building affordable housing, and he has not been at one meeting. We had a meeting last week with the governor's office, and he was nowhere to be found. And so we don't need more of the same. What we need is change. I offer change for New Yorkers in the city of New York, and I urge everyone to come out and vote for a champion of the people, Letitia James.
One more question, guys.
Why is there so much animosity between you? It seems like...
I don't know if it's animosity. I think that there's just a difference between he and I. It's clear.
You didn't even look at him today.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at the people of the city of New York, but clearly there's a difference between he and I. And there's a clear distinction between Dan Squadron, who represents the elite, the wealthy, and the well-connected in the city of New York, and someone who represents New Yorkers whose voices have been shut out of the process of the city of New York. I've been to too many funerals. I have been to a lot of rallies. I've been to homes where tenants were being displaced in the city of New York, and I stood up for them time and time again. And I will continue to stand up for them as the next public advocate of city of New York, giving them a voice. And to compare me and to say that I'm a close ally of Bloomberg is laughable.
What about those tax returns? Are you going to show off those tax returns?
Oh, sure. I'm going to show off those tax returns, but let's also be clear that Dan Squadron has not released Schedule A on his tax returns either.
Well, you previously promised to release them, and then there was a period of time where you didn't.
We're going to release them. I really think that the issue really should be focused on the crisis in affordable housing, the fact that our school closures is a failed policy, and that the mayor of the city of New York is teaching to the test, and that Dan Squadron has been has been a proponent of Mayor Bloomberg's policies in Albany, again, voting in support of lifting the cap on charter schools and mayoral control, notwithstanding the fact his Democratic colleagues wanted parents' voices to be heard, and he was the first one out of the gate in support of Mayor Bloomberg, and we really do not need more of the same.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys.
Still Blasio for his endorsement?
Thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody.